Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third of our annual Gerald Lee Memorial Lectures. Our previous meetings have been on laryngeal hemiplegia and then spinal ataxia, and today our subject is the thoroughbred sales assessment. And I'm rather thrilled that we have attracted a pretty heavyweight audience from actually all sides of the thoroughbred industry, which is a credit to the program that Celia's put together and to our speakers. A particular welcome to Debbie Scott-Pierce, who's come from Rood and Riddle in Lexington, Kentucky, to lead our lectures before and after lunch. It's a big journey, and you are very welcome to Newmarket. This series of lectures is made possible by a very generous donation to Beaufort Cottage Educational Trust by the Gerald Lee Charitable Trust. We're here to honour the memory of Gerald Lee, who died in 2002, and his daughter Sarah Jane, who died in 2015. We thank the Gerald Lee trustees Robin and Anna Lee, and are delighted, I hope, to welcome Gerald's wife Anna here today. We're so pleased with the support that you give us, and we must also thank Sarah Whitney, the Trust Administrator, who's always been so helpful in coordinating these programs as well as other initiatives that BCET undertake. And a huge thank you to Jenny Ricketts, too, for managing the infrastructure of this meeting and bringing it together in the parts that we as vets probably would do rather less efficiently. She has been fantastic. Gerald Lee was an extraordinarily successful breeder of thoroughbred racehorses, first at Caton Park near Henley and then at Eden Hall in Northamptonshire. At the time of his death in 2002, he had developed 4 families, perhaps the greatest achievement of all breeders to develop their own families. And more remarkably, all 4 of those families had a Group 1 winner in their immediate pedigree. Now, most of us dealing with horses know that breeding a Group 1 winner is phenomenally difficult. To achieve it with 4 families from 20 mares is quite amazingly remarkable. Names to remember include Brocade, Mark of Distinction, Barathea, Bosrasham, Coretta, Act 1, and Gossamer, to name just some of them. His principal trainer, Luca Kimani, is here today. He also had horses in France with Jonathan Pease and in America with Nicolas Clement. But Luca will give us a contribution this afternoon and tell us perhaps a little bit more about Gerald from a trainer's point of view and his huge experience both training and breeding racehorses. And we also welcome another trainer, Sir Mark Prescott here, who has agreed to come and give the first lecture today. And these 2 men have been personal friends of mine since I've been in Newmarket in the early 70s, and it's wonderful that they're here to support us. Gerald and Sarah Jane Lee were wonderful people to work for, generous, loyal, but demanding and businesslike. They made you think, and they took advice from experts who became part of their team. Eden Hall was developed into a beautiful farm, staffed by dedicated, knowledgeable people, in particular Terry Campbell, Gerald's hands-on manager. Attention to detail was paramount in everything they did. I want to tell one brief story, if I may, before we start the day. In the summer of 1993, a filly by Woodman out of Covea arrived back at Eden Hall from 3 Chimneys in Kentucky. She was a queen, beautiful, correct, well-balanced, with a walk worthy of a video. In Gerald's study at the end of the afternoon, he said to me, "How much do you think she'll make at the sales?" To which I replied, "It's not my job to value horses, Gerald, but she's lovely. Why on earth would you sell her?" "Because she'll top book 1, he said. rather grumpily actually. And she did, at 400,000 guineas, and he was thrilled, absolutely thrilled. She was named Bosra Sham. After she won the 1,000 guineas, he asked me to lunch, to celebrate, I imagined. Instead, he apologised and said he should have listened to me. He was that sort of man, he never forgot. Our relationship and friendship is part of my career that I will always cherish.